Pro Football Weekly is previewing the offseason for all 32 teams. We're in the NFC East right now, looking at the Philadelphia Eagles. And Eric, I think the big question that people have been looking at is DeSean Jackson. What happens with him?
Well, you know, Jackson's idea of what he's worth and the team's idea of what Jackson is worth, there's a pretty good sized gap right now, okay? So they're going to have to sort of, you know, figure out some middle ground there and come up with some numbers that work for both the player and the team. I still think it gets done. I really do. Andy Reid has put a lot of stock in this kid. He's gone to bat for him several times, even when the media has kind of gotten on both of their cases for that matter. So I think Jackson comes back. It's kind of a flooded wide receiver market, so his numbers may not be huge.
Is he a number one guy? Does he deserve number one money?
In this offense, his role is to get deep and attract the defense. He's a scheme changer, a coverage changer. So yes, he's a number one, even if Jeremy Maclin puts up better numbers.
I don't think he's going to get Fitzgerald-like money, though, but we'll see what he gets from the Eagles if he stays there. The defensive side of the ball, a lot of criticism for Juan Castillo on that defense early in the year, but you look at the numbers once it was over, pretty good overall. What does he do in year two to get better?
I think a real strong pass rush made up for some of the deficiencies. Obviously, there was a difference between what the defensive backs could do coverage-wise and what they wanted to do in terms of simplifying things. And when Andy Reid got more involved in the defense late in the season, they cranked it up. They were very good in the scoring department. Those last 4 games look pretty darn good. So I think that's good momentum heading into OTAs. They can figure out what coverages they play well, when to blitz, when not to blitz, and really get an identity there. Todd Bowles, the new secondary coach, will help, I think, and just in terms of figuring out what they have. Plus, I think they're going to go after more pass rushers the way they do it.
Yeah, and they put up the numbers last year, tied for the league lead in sacks.
Yep.
You talked about Andy Reid. You know, there were people calling for his head last year when they struggled. They win their last 4. Now looking ahead, they're one of those teams I think a lot of people are looking at to be the team that surges into the playoffs next year. What does Andy Reid need to do to now continue to keep his job, really?
Yeah, I think it's got to be the dream deferred. I think they've got to go on a big run this year and meet some of those expectations that were levied on them when they made the big free agent splash. Not a lot of them worked out ideally, but they still got good players like Cohen Jenkins, who I expect to be back. You know, Nnamdi Asomugha should be put in better positions to succeed. And I think Mike Vick, if he stays healthy, will have another good year. So everything's there to make a run, but they've got to finish ahead of the Giants and win this division, I think, to keep Reid in that safe territory.
I think the lockout, you know, for some teams it really didn't hurt them as much. It really hurt the Eagles. So. We'll see if they can remedy that in their second year with all of these guys they signed. That's a look at the offseason for the Philadelphia Eagles. For the best coverage of the league, check us out at ProFootballWeekly.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about the NFL Draft, and Pro Football Weekly's new draft database has you covered. Check out updated player rankings for over 750 prospects and our exclusive PFW Stock Watch. Just go to the Draft tab at ProFootballWeekly.com.